Staying with this future theme, Ian, you also tipped us off, I know, about a Belfast company called Filmtrip, which says it's developed a way to assess our emotional response to what we see on screen so that special effects can be made more personalised, funnier, more arousing, more frightening. Gawain Morrison is the company director.
Sensum is an emotional response entertainment platform. For the last 18 months or so, we've been experimenting with capturing human physiology response like heart rate and level of sweat, and using those human variables to affect the entertainment output. So an audience sitting wired up will be able to respond real time with what they're watching and listening, and it'll affect changes in scene or changes in audio or changes in sound effects.
And what happens to that information while the film is actually playing?
We're able to see the responses of people as, say, a scary scene comes up, their heart rate will go up, they'll sweat more, and we'll be able to measure that, and you can take it to where it makes them more scared, or you can calm them back down depending on what you want to do. So you can change colours on screen, or the scene choices, or whether you're looking through a certain character's eyes, or a score, or whatever you want to do, really.
So the reaction in the audience can, to some extent, determine what you then play out on the screen?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What happens if the reaction is not universal, though?
Well, we're taking an average response across the whole of the audience that we're taking in at any time, but we can actually close that feedback loop. So each person we're measuring individually anyway, so we can send information back to them if they've got a set of headphones or something on, or we are real-time capturing that, so at the end of the film, if they've had certain responses, we can then send them unlocks or vouchers or trading tools from a game onto their mobile phones, because we were using their mobiles to capture and stream this data.
How close is this to becoming a reality in a cinema?
We've been developing a sci-fi feature film alongside the technology with sci-fi novelist Ian MacDonald. So we have content that we're developing with this in mind. We're also talking to a number of broadcasters and digital agencies about using this in relation to broadcast and second device stuff, and with standalone campaigns for things. So I would reckon within the next 6 to 12 months you'll start to see this rolling out about the place.
And do you know if there's a public appetite for it?
Absolutely. As to whether that's going to be a mass market thing or whether it's going to be a more niche, tech guys, sci-fi guys, gamers, we're not sure, because this has never really been done before.
Here's the doubting voice. If the film is good enough, why do you need all this extra nonsense?
Script and content are king. It's an irrelevancy as to how many bells, whistles and technologies you put onto the side of it. I mean, if you have a pretty bad film going out, it will be used in some instances to do that, but it could unlock a whole new type of creativity where you create stuff that has a real true physiological engagement that hasn't existed before.
And a word about trying this in America, which I know you have done. What happened then?
What we did was an emotional response short horror film. It was a 10-minute piece with a number of different paths and changes in it. And we had a part where if the audience wasn't scared enough, we'd release a subsonic frequency that kind of made their skin crawl. And you could see the automatic response. As soon as that happened, everybody's responses went up.
Well, I don't suppose they had much choice at that point.
No, exactly.
So the heartbeat went up at that point, but then you were making sure that they calmed down afterwards.
Well, maybe.
Yes. I'd like to think there weren't medical implications to that incident. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you're buying in to take yourself on a roller coaster. You go to a big experience like that to go and get taken on an emotional journey, so why not?